Alcohol to me never felt good. I never liked it. And it was a recipe for, there was a lot of fights. There was a lot of, there were a lot of bad stuff happens when people are drinking. Drunk driving, to say nothing of poor decision making.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it just feels like there's so many better ways to have a good time.
Alcohol doesn't bring out the best in people's characters. Alcohol almost universally makes people less than they are. It's fun because it eradicates your concern for future consequences.
You do stupid things when you're drunk. You hurt yourself. You compromise your health. It's really hard on the people around you. You tend to turn into a liar, and it screws up your life.
I've tasted alcohol, but no, I'm not a drinker. At a young age, I realized that I had a very weak mind. I want nothing to interfere with my own thought process.
I define addiction as the continued compulsive use of a drug or behavior despite harm to self and or others.
I'm proud of myself that I didn't quitting.
Yeah.
Because it's demoralizing. Like, to truly be powerless over something is demoralizing. It's so rough.
To this day, I've never had a drink, and I have no longing for it. I have no interest in it. This was an idea that I had, where if we can teach young people not to take drugs, just not to take them. When I see friends of mine that are having difficulty with not having that drink at dinner, where it's literally almost impossible for them to stop, I say to myself, I can't even understand it. Why would that be difficult? The fact is, if we can teach young people and people generally not to start, it's really, really easy not to take them.
Try talking to someone else about drinking. Try talking to someone else about how you haven't had a drink for 2 years and watch what happens to them. Well, I don't drink that much anyway. If I were to tell other people how they could do it, is so particular to your own spirit and your own psychology that it's almost impossible to develop one way of explaining it to someone else. You have to fight really hard to look at it from a critical point of view because it's constantly pushed on you. And if you look at drinking the way you would look at anything else, which is risk, reward, what am I giving up? What am I getting?
And I just think of the financial implications of drinking. It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Because when I was on the SEAL teams, we spent a lot of money on alcohol. If I would have saved that money, invested that money, bought something, a house, whatever, it would have been just a totally different scenario. How much time did I spend drinking and did we spend drinking when we could have been getting better at guitar? Could have been, learning how to do a skill that would be more valuable. What sucks is, you're in the SEAL teams, there's only these certain skills that you care about.
With the stuff that I cared about, it was drinking basically was like second to all that stuff. So I could fit it in. If you can get 5 workouts a day or a week, get to work on time, do a good job at work, not get arrested and stuff like that, you're kind of good to go.
I tried to quit drinking a lot of times. I knew that my drinking was causing problems in my life across the board. I mean, I had less money, it was eating into my bank account, it was messing with some of my relationships. I would never feel good. The 3 days after I would go out on a bender, right, I would just be like a mess. I know this is screwing me up. I know it. And then I tell myself, you know what? Maybe it'll be different this time. I'm just gonna have 1 or 2 drinks this time. And then you have 1 or 2 and you go, well, if 1 or 2 is this good, what would 10 more be like, right? And something shifts in your head. So it's choosing that short-term relief at the expense of long-term growth.
I mean, I used to put away probably 2/5 a day and have mini bottles everywhere and on pills and on coke. And I had a suicide attempt, parked the car in the garage, left the engine running, reclined the seat back and was like, let's check out. And it didn't work, believe it or not. Obviously, I'm sitting here.
I can tell you that in my 20s, 30s, and early 40s, I definitely had a drinking problem. No question. Whether it was the lever I pulled to relieve anxiety, or it was escaping the show that my life had become when we were in financial trouble, or it was just a deep, I think, sadness and feeling lost and disconnected, and how alcohol can make you social and make you fun and make you forget all that stuff, and just sort of that constant cycle of drinking and then regretting that I drank and regretting what I said.
But we drank because it was Thursday night and that's the night that you go out, but you didn't drink outside of that. I think something interesting happens to your point when you're celebrating, you're going to celebrate a special occasion. occasion, something interesting happens when you're using alcohol for a special occasion, for your Thursday night with your friends. Then all of a sudden it shifts. It stops being that thing you're using for special occasions. It stops being the thing you do on Thursday nights with your buddies. And then all of a sudden it gets to you finish your long day at work. You're exhausted. What do? You open up that bottle of wine and you have a glass or two, or you have that scotch, or you have that Truly, whatever people are drinking nowadays. And it becomes that kind of the wind down the day kind of thing, which so many people do, separate themselves from, from work or whatever happened in that day. And I noticed that for myself as well, especially after my wife and I had kids. I was definitely feeling a higher level of stress and responsibility than I ever had before in my life.
Someone that's doing, let's say, moderate drinking, so they're doing, the glass of wine a night. What's that doing to parts of their brain in terms of the structure and the function?
It seems that our threshold for what we call moderate or low amounts of drinking is shifting nowadays. I don't know if that had something to do with the alcohol episode that we did, but here's what I do know. The data say that 0 to 2 drinks per week, you're probably fine, provided you're not an alcoholic and you're of age, okay? And you're not pregnant. 0 to 2 drinks per week. Now, what happens past 2 drinks per week depends on a lot of other contextual factors, okay? First of all, how well or poorly you metabolize alcohol, how much alcohol dehydrogenase you tend to express. Why do I say that? Well, a lot of the so-called negative effects of alcohol are due to disruptions in sleep and gut microbiome. So those are indirect, right? Alcohol is changing for the worse the gut microbiome and sleep patterns. We know this. People that track their sleep, they have 1 drink and they're like, holy cow, my sleep is so much worse. Not just sleep score, but amount of REM sleep, amount of deep sleep, etc. So then should we set the threshold at 3 drinks per week or 4 drinks per week? I don't know, and I'm not here to say that one way or the other. What I'm saying is my read of the data is that 0 is better than any.
You want to be doing this for a long period of time, right? So after 5 or 6 years or 10 years, what is your relationship to this thing going to be? Mm-hmm. And if it's not sustainable now, where you feel drained at the end of the week rather than energized, then maybe you're a brilliant business person. Look at the model and figure out how you can tweak it so that you can stay in love with the process. And I think for me, it's all about enjoying it for what it is and detaching from all the externalities. Like if I start looking on Spotify or Apple, where the ranking, all that kind of stuff, I know that I'm in a dark place, right? I shouldn't be comparing myself to other people. I should just be present for the experience of having these conversations and trying to deliver value to the people who are taking time out of their day to listen. And that's it. It doesn't have to be any more than that. When I get caught up in that other stuff is when I start to make decisions that begin to become out of alignment with the mission.
Yeah, I quit drinking over 3 months ago. I just had some revelations, I guess. But I think the big one is just physical fitness. I work out so much, and I would drink and go to my club and have a couple, not a lot either. Just have a few drinks, and the next day just feel like total
I think with age, especially, it starts affecting you more.
It's always been like that.
It's always? Okay.
It's always been like that. I've always been hungover after a night of drinking, but you don't feel it normally. Like in normal life, if I just did normal stuff, it'd be fine. It's when you're in the gym that you notice.
Right.
When you're doing like second and third set of squats or something like that, you're like, oh God.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And I haven't had any bad days since I quit drinking.
Oh, cool.
I've eliminated all of that, and I'm like, just that alone is worth it. Well, I think there's a big health trend with a lot of young people. I think a lot of people are very health conscious. It's the rise of cold plunging and sauna use and, all these different things like intermittent fasting where people are really paying attention to their body and really paying attention and noticing that if you do follow these steps, it really does make a significant difference in the way you feel and maybe more importantly, the way everything operates, not just your body, but your brain. It's like your function, your cognitive function improves with physical fitness. And, if you're an ambitious person and you want to do well in life, you want your body to work well, alcohol's not your friend.
I think this is us seeing the end of hardcore drink culture. If you've looked at how few of Gen Z now drink.
Yes.
I think maybe 20%.
One of them is that the youth views drinking as what their parents did. This group of people that are the youth right now are so much more informed on what the negative aspects of drinking and what it can do to you that they're just like, why would I
Subject
consume
myself.
this? Yeah, to something like that.
45 years ago today, I had a wake-up call. I was heading for disaster, drinking myself to death. I'm not preachy, but I got a message, a little thought that said, do you want to live or die? And I said, I want to live. And suddenly the relief came, and my life has been amazing. And I have my off days and sometimes little bits of doubt and all that. But all in all, I say, hang in there. Today is the tomorrow you were so worried about yesterday. You young people, don't give up. Just keep in there. Just keep fighting. Be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. And that sustained me through my life.